Quick update, injury update. Tony turned an ankle, should be fine for Thursday. He won't practice today, but we fully expect him to be back tomorrow. So you might not see him practicing today, but it was a slight strain, so he'll be back Thursday, we think. Other than that, everybody's healthy. Gigi's got a good, clean bill of health.
Hurt himself in the game?
No, practice yesterday. Just a small tweak.
The rotation you've been using recently with giving Noah more minutes and Gigi more minutes, is that something you want to stick with?
Well, Gigi obviously getting healthy. He was definitely going to be in the rotation, if not in the starting lineup, to start the season. So him getting healthy has really helped us that way, and I foresee him continue to play, and hopefully minutes will even go up because of the confidence that we have in him. Noah brings a guy that was here last year, so he brings a lot of experience to the table of when we made a good run last year. He stabilized things, especially defensively and with some toughness, and that's what we're trying to add. Obviously, if we can get Prince in there, we want to get Prince in there. It's just it's a little harder this time of year with Prince and Alex being young. Aaron's stabilized himself as an outstanding player in his first year, and he's going to get those minutes. But sometimes as a freshman, it takes a little bit of time. I think we'll still get Prince in there, but we are using Noah a little bit. How much we continue to do that will determine on production and those type of things.
Earlier in the year, you compared Prince to Norman and kind of said he was a little bit behind defensively, probably ahead offensively.
Right.
What do you think? What has he shown in the conference season?
Yeah, and again, young Norman, not Norman as a
right.
senior. Norman developed into a pro, obviously. So, and we hope that's what happens to Prince as well. And I think it'll be that same type of attrition that needs to take place. And Prince has got to be a very patient player and patient person. Doesn't always happen in today's world. So many players get impatient and think it's going to happen overnight, and it doesn't. And Norman is case in point of staying in school 4 years and taking your lumps, learning, getting better. But Prince has the athleticism of a Norman as a freshman, the ball skills of being able to drive the basketball, got good strength as a freshman. It's just learning and learning the game, learning the ebb and flow of offense of when do I drive, when do I not drive, when do I move the ball, and then defensively, all the schemes that happen defensively, that takes some time. And I'm excited because I think down the road, I think he's going to be extremely productive. But obviously this year, and it's been up and down and those type of things for him, and that happens a lot for freshmen.
How is his patience?
Well, I hope it's good. I mean, he's had a great attitude. He's had a great demeanor. He's been very understanding in our one-on-ones and our film sessions that we have. I think he's very eager to learn. And I think, he's like a lot of guys, they end up start playing and they understand, it's a little different in high school. It's a little different than AAU. And then some guys don't ever get it. And I do think Prince gets that. And we've seen his work ethic change. He's working harder. He's doing the things that he needs to do to try to get better. And I still hope and believe that he'll make a difference by the time it's all over with. We're going to need that. It's like Tony tweaking an ankle in Monday's practice, or you just never know when your number's going to be called on. It's not the best of roles, and I've told Noah that, and Noah has accepted it and really done a good job throughout his career. It's not the most glamorous role, it's not a great role, but it's a much needed role, and he does it very well.
You've coached in some tough conferences before. How does
this one top to bottom? Yeah, this one top to bottom in 25 years would mirror, maybe a couple of the years that I had in the Big Ten of just being top to bottom. And I think easily ACC, Big 12, the Pac12, the best leagues in the country because of the parity we have top to bottom. Somebody just told me today we've got 11 games left and we play each team once. So that's kind of interesting to look at it, but you're going to play each of these really good teams one time. I think 6 are at home, 5 are on the road. So you take it obviously one game at a time, but there are a lot of leagues, if you looked at that, you're like, there's 4 or 5 that, you feel pretty good about. This year, regardless of whether you're playing home or you're playing on the road, you've got to play well. And if you don't play well, you really run the risk of getting beat. And that makes it fun. It's going to be fun for fans. It's going to be fun for nationally to look at it. It's going to be nerve-wracking for coaches. That's for sure in the next 6 weeks, because each game, regardless of preparation, your team has to play well, home or on the road. And But it does make for a great run, and it really sets up for an incredible Pac-12 tournament.
Do the players understand how tough this league is?
Well, I would think so. I hope so. They've been through 7 of them already. We got a Washington team coming in here that I think they're 5-2 in first place right now, 2 games shy of the midpoint, and they've been in 3 overtime games. 1 double overtime with us, and an overtime game with Washington State, and an overtime game with Utah. So here's the league leader right now that's already had 3 games that went extra time, and so it just speaks volumes of just how competitive this is. You're going to have a lot of possession-by-possession games, going down to the wire, foul shooting, value in the ball, getting the defensive stop. All these things are going to come into play. And I think we've had enough games under our belt that our guys understand that, and they understand the urgency now to this weekend. Thursday and Saturday, there's a lot of urgency to make sure that we get 2 wins and get to that midpoint at 5-4. If we get to the midpoint at that, then we got a good chance of being 1 game out of first place. If we don't, then we find ourselves in a really tough spot. So our guys know the pressure. They know, they understand it. Now they got to perform with that kind of pressure.
Washington's a team that really likes to push the pace and
Absolutely.
play fast. How do you feel you match up with that now versus maybe beginning of the month?
Well, it was a great game in Seattle. It was a tremendous game as far as the pace and those type of things. We turned the ball over too much. And we didn't get the stops we needed it. Though both teams defensively were pretty good in regulation, and then in overtime, both teams got crazy. Both teams were scoring at will, and I think it was 13-9 maybe in the second overtime. So we gave up too many points in the overtime. But they're young, and they come in and they play extremely hard, and they want to get up and down the floor. Obviously, do a lot of switching defensively, which a lot of teams we don't see doing that. So they present a different animal defensively. And then offensively, when you got a guy like Andrews who creates a lot of offense for himself and a lot of offense for teammates, it starts with him and then it kind of just goes out. But their bigs are good, they're athletic, and it's the athletic teams right now. If you look at our losses, it's been the overly athletic teams that have given us problems. So we've got to figure that out, and whether it's controlling tempo, making sure we get the quality shot. I think we had 25 turnovers up in Seattle. We can't do that. Now, since then, we've really done a good job of handling the ball. So if we can reduce those turnovers in half, that means we get 50% of possessions. That'll help not just our offense, but it'll help our defense, because I thought the turnovers in game 1 affected what we did defensively.
There were, I don't remember how many fouls. There were a lot of fouls.
Yeah, I think there was, 60 some odd free throws in that game.
They're 90, I think.
Yeah.
I think you guys shot 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that a product of the way these 2 teams matched up, or was it kind of just a one-off?
It's hard to say, and going back and looking at that tape, we played just about everybody. Ike was in that game. Alex got minutes in that game. We were in severe foul trouble. Our bigs were in foul trouble. Aaron fouled out in regulation, so we didn't have Aaron in either of the overtime sessions. So we got ourselves in really big foul trouble. And we've done a pretty good job since then of not doing that and not being in at least that great of foul trouble. But that was a unique game in that there were a lot of fouls, and that obviously disrupts the flow. We did a good job of making free throws. That's really what kept us in the game.